Did you know that there are three hidden traps in every budgeting technique that are bleeding 25% or more of your gross income straight into the bank's pockets, and you don't even know what's happening? There's the focus trap, which has you and everyone else focused on the wrong part of your budget. The biggest problem with this trap is that it deceives you into thinking your budget has you on the right track while it's actually putting you on the path to being a 92 percenter. You know what a 92 percenter is? Someone trapped in the payment matrix, making money, working, and making payments until the day they die. And then there's the income corrosion trap, which is where that 25% that's being siphoned into the banks, it's where that comes from and how it puts you on the work until you die path. And then the third trap, the purpose trap. This is the biggest trap of all. This is the one that results in 92% of all hardworking Americans serving life sentences in financial jail. Fortunately, I have a very simple solution for this trap that I've been teaching my clients and students for the better part of the last 2 decades, and it changes everything. And I'm going to teach it to you right here in this video. But first, let's talk about the focus trap and where it has you focusing on the wrong number of your budget and how it deceives you into thinking your budget has you on the right path. Here's what happens. You make your budget, you pay all your bills, and if there's anything left over, you pat yourself on the back and you're like, great job, I'm financially responsible. But focusing on those leftover scraps is like being proud of the crumbs while someone else steals your entire meal. I'll never forget this one client. Let's call her Sarah. Hardworking mom, practically doing cartwheels over the $400 monthly surplus she had. She felt like she'd finally cracked the code until I had to show her the gut-wrenching truth that made her literally gasp out loud. While she was celebrating the $400, I had to break it to her that she was hemorrhaging $1,200 every single month in interest payments. And just to be clear, interest payments are pure profit for the banks. The banks were making 3 times more profit from her money than she was keeping for herself. She was working her tail off, budgeting like a pro, or at least she thought she was. And the banks, well, they were laughing all the way, laughing all the way to the bank. That's $14,400 a year in pure profit for them. Now, if you're thinking, where the heck does that $14,400 come from? Well, that's exactly what the next trap is all about. And the second trap is the income corrosion trap. And this is where your financial future gets murdered in broad daylight. Let me show you what's happening to families just like yours right now. I'm going to walk you through some numbers from what I call the Fortunado Family scenario. Real numbers based on 30 years of data from families I've worked with plus national averages. They bring home $6,600 a month. After their $3,133 in debt payments and all of their other living expenses like, birthday parties, entertainment, movies, dinner, all that stuff, they have $600 left over. They felt successful, they felt responsible, but they were dead wrong. Here's the brutal truth. Of that $3,133 they're paying out for debt, only $1,355 actually reduces their debt. The other $1,778, interest payments, which are pure profit for the banks. And that's where more than 25% of their entire gross household income is going straight into the bankers' pockets. Now they're celebrating the $600 in leftovers, while almost 3 times that amount, $1,778, was being stolen from them every single month. That's over $21,000 a year in pure theft. And to make matters worse, as if it wasn't already bad enough, they have to gross nearly 30 grand just so that they can bring home the 21 grand for the banks to go and party with. And that is how 25% of your gross annual income buys your banker a new Tesla. Now, this isn't budgeting success. This is a financial suicide in slow motion, and you have no idea it's happening. But if you comment, "Stop the bleeding," I'll send you my calculator that shows you exactly how much interest you're paying every month. What you discover might just make you a little queasy. But here's the trap that gets everyone enslaved forever, and it's the one nobody ever talks about. This third trap is the purpose trap, and this is the one that keeps you financially imprisoned in the payment matrix for the rest of your life. Because without even realizing it, you've been brainwashed into believing your income's purpose is to make payments. Work hard, make money, pay bills, save the scraps. Rinse and repeat until the day you die. That's the plan the payment matrix has for you. Slave away until you drop dead while it drains you of all your wealth potential. All because you've been deceived into thinking that the purpose of the income from your work is to make payments. But there should be only one and only one purpose for the income from your work. And this is the $1,000,000 secret banks pray you never figure out. Now, you might want to write this down because this one shift is the one that changes everything. The one and only purpose of the income from your work should be to replace the income from your work, not manage it, not budget it, replace it. And this one shift changes everything. Why? Because when you say this to yourself, you immediately begin asking the question the banks don't want you to ask. That question is, how do I use my income, the income from my work, to replace the income from my work? Most people spend 40 years generating between $2 and $3 million in income. And the purpose trap drains all that cash into the bank's pockets because you've been misled into thinking the purpose of your income was just to make payments. And you never stop to ask yourself how you could use your income to replace your income. When I started teaching this concept, my clients' lives changed overnight because you begin focusing on how to escape the purpose trap that the payment matrix wants you stuck in until the day you die. Remember the Fortunado family, the bleeding over 25% of their gross income into the banks? Here's what happened when we flipped the script and weaponized that $600 with the purpose of replacing their income instead of just making payments. All of their debt, cars, credit cards, mortgage, everything gone in 9 years and 3 months. Plus, they built over $67,000 in tax-free wealth by the time they were debt-free. Same income, same family, completely different financial outcome. This shift puts them on track to accumulating over $1.4 million in tax-free wealth that'll pay them $80,000 in tax-free retirement income well into their 90s. And this is how you escape the payment matrix and use your income to buy your freedom instead of funding bankers' yachts. Right now, before you forget, comment "Stop the Bleeding" and I'll send you my free "How much interest are you really paying" calculator that exposes exactly how much of your wealth potential is being stolen from you every single month. Fair warning, what you discover might just keep you up at night. I'm also going to give you a free copy of the exclusive YouTube edition of my new book, Transforming Payments into Prosperity. It will dive into what the payment matrix is, how it works, and why you should escape it as soon as possible. It's time to stop funding the bank's bottom lines and use your monthly cash flow to build real tax-free wealth for your family instead of the banks. And remember, your budget isn't helping you succeed financially. It's helping the bank steal as much as 25% or more of your gross income while hypnotizing you into being happy with the table scraps. But now you know better. So drop "Stop the Bleeding" in the comments now and grab your free calculator and free YouTube edition of my new book. In my next video, I'm pulling back the curtain on exactly how the Fortunados flipped the script and turned that $600 in leftovers into $1.4 million in tax-free wealth. The banking industry really doesn't want you to see this, so be sure to check it out. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.